So this is a project that we recently finished refurbishment and already tenanted. Speed is one thing, but we prioritize quality as well.
Basically a joiner, they could work socially distanced, work on the fire doors and the fire frames.
Yeah, that was the time where everybody can officially go back to work in the construction industry.
So now on to the struggles. No project comes without struggles, and I tell you, on this project there were plenty.
Hi guys, welcome to our channel, and today we're going to share with you all the ins and outs of this 6-bed 5 bathrooms house share project, which took place over the course of the pandemic. And there were a lot of struggles along the way, during the project, after the project, and yeah, I'm gonna just talk through it today. So
in no specific order, well, the first thing was damp. Oh my goodness, we had a damp-proof course done on this property because the walls were soaking wet when we bought it. It was almost dripping out of the wall, that's how damp they were. So we needed a damp-proof course. Obviously we got it installed throughout, but it wasn't fixed everywhere. We only found out once it was plastered, and then lockdown hit, and after we came back from lockdown there were a couple of corners where there was mold growth. It doesn't matter who you ask, it's always someone else's fault, and there are plenty of reasons why there could be damp. So just some of the possibilities that we had was, first of all, we thought, well, it's rising damp and it hasn't been fixed properly yet. But if you ask the damp company, they tell you, well, it's still drying out, it's still drawing moisture from the wall, so it's just a matter of time, and we should be using dehumidifiers in the meantime until the damp is fully dried out of the wall. So we did that, but it didn't get any better. So after our rooms were tenanted, there is still damp coming through. It especially gets worse when there is a heavy downpour. So we got our original builder in again, and ultimately they found out that there is cracked render at the outside external walls of our property. It could be really due to the cracked render, which now has been fixed, and we'll have to see in the next couple of months if any damp is still coming back. Issue number 2, leaks. Everything is installed and the showers work, the taps work, everything works. So long story short, the taps started to become faulty and we replaced one tap, then the next tap got faulty, and we had to replace the second tap. So at that time we said, well, we cannot take the risk and wait for the other 4 taps or 3 taps to just start leaking, and we decided this must be a faulty batch, and we just replaced all of them. One very fun thing that you need to consider about fire doors, especially after the Grenfell incident. So fire doors is basically a very heavy sort of door with fire door closures that you have to, everyone in the house, tenants have to keep the door shut. They cannot prop it open with like a door wedge, because fire doors is there to keep tenants safe. In the case of a fire happening, then the fire door gives like a 30 minutes barrier for someone to escape. So it's a good kind of legislation in place. Bring out the council to inspect them. Are they happy and satisfied with how they got installed? Otherwise, you have a fully installed door and you have to redo all of them. Room size is a very hot topic amongst the HMO officers. So for a licensed house share like this, you have to adhere to certain room sizes, room dimensions in order to get the license. In our council, it's 10.21 square meters for a single occupant double bedroom. And because we don't have a big enough lounge, we don't have a big enough kitchen, so for a single occupancy bedroom, we need to have 10.21
square meters. And in 2 of the rooms, it's a bit like a rectangular, like L shape. So it looks a bit small, so the council people had to come out like almost 3 times to remeasure and confirm that it adheres to the guidelines. So even though we provided those drawings, they had to come up themselves and measure it themselves. So yeah, just be mindful of that.
Another one is pigeons. We had pigeons nesting in our roof void throughout the lockdown, and when our builders came back, you could hear the pigeons up there and you could see them flying in all the time. So on a quiet day, we asked our builders, well, if there are no pigeons up there, can you just close that roof void so that they cannot come back? So they did that. However, there was still 1 pigeon left in the roof. 1 locked inside the roof void, couldn't get out, and it got to that point where the neighbor even called RSPCA to unblock their roof. When we didn't see the pigeons there anymore, we called pest control again to block up the roof properly.
So another animal issue that we had in this property was wood lice. They appeared after we came back from lockdown. So over the course of lockdown, the house was really cold, the heating wasn't fully operational yet. So we found a lot of wood lice lying around. Initially we thought that, you know, is there something wrong with our property? Is something rotting or whatever? It just so happened that our neighbor recently also bought his property. It was run down and he was doing renovation as well. Apparently he also got wood lice in his property. So it seems to be quite a common thing in this area. There are the front yards and plants are growing, so it could be where the wood lice came from. A lot of people suggested using smoke bombs. So that's what we did. We bought the smoke bombs online, and then we put 1 in each room on the ground floor. Close all the windows, close all the doors, so make sure that the smoke will just fill up every gaps, every corner in the room, so that it can kill the wood lice. Let it close for 24 hours, and then the next day when we returned, yeah, all the wood lice were dead, lying on the floor. So
we could get rid of all those wood lice, but ever since the tenant moved in, we haven't heard of them, so it must have solved the problem.
So that's all the refurb property related struggles that we had with this project. If you guys found it useful, make sure to leave us a comment below what you have learned from it, and any issues that you guys have experienced that we haven't covered, just leave a comment below. So make sure you like and subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified when we post new videos. See you on the next one.
Is that right?
We focus?